So you guys, obviously we could have done this at the Move where I usually do pro podcasts and stuff like that. But we were just hanging out. Me and Mom are about to go to Carbone. She's here for the holidays, wanted to come for a nice little vacation to Miami. And I said, let's just drop a YouTube and let's just answer this vibe. Let's answer some questions for some people or something. She's like, no, I don't want to do it. But we're gonna ask Mom some questions about me and my brother and growing up and life and shit. And I'm not an interviewer, but I'm going to help Mom come to bring some questions out. So, Sherry Watson, my mom growing up, cut hair.
Yeah.
Grew up in Point Loma, San Diego. Point Loma, San Diego. We're San Diego born and raised, right?
Yeah.
Where was I born?
You were born in San Diego.
Pomerado?
And then, yeah. And then we lived in San Marcos.
We live in San Marcos. That's where I went to. I went to elementary in San Marcos, and then went to Richland, which was in Oceanside for middle school, and then went to Vista High School, and then got kicked out early and went to secondary school.
Actually, it was Richland was elementary, Roosevelt was middle school.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And then Vista High. But then you got kicked out of Vista High. And your grandfather got called that day because I was at work, and then he wanted to fight the kid that hit you, and you hit him back, and you both got expelled.
We were always fighting. How were me and Ryan? Ryan's my brother. How were me and Ryan growing up, and how was it when
They were household damage. They were.
What did we do? What were we like?
You guys were fun, super fun, but you were rowdy boys. And you were always doing something.
So I was on a podcast last night. I was talking to C.T. Fletcher, and he said, if your dad was such a savage, how'd you guys become like stoners and doing drugs and drinking and selling drugs and all that shit? And I just remember as I started to grow up, and there was a lot of weed, there was a lot of partying and stuff, and then we would always take it to our house, and Dad would come home and just be pissed as fuck. He'd be like, what the fuck? My brother's older, so he was kind of the starter of this. What do you think Ryan was smoking and drinking at what age?
I don't even know. I'm probably pretty young.
13, 14?
I sort of think I busted you guys around that age. I remember the first time I could tell were really high. And you weren't that old.
How old do you think?
Junior high. I think a lot went down in junior high. Maybe earlier, but I busted stuff in junior high.
Yeah, so we just started normal skaters, surfer, snowboarder kids, and started smoking weed, partying and shit. And then my dad would come home, and my brother, he'd have a bong, or we'd be smoking. I think I'm 11, 12, 13 at the time. And he's like, Ryan was 15 or something at the time before.
Yeah,
about
Ryan
that.
Was pretty difficult.
So he was a little older. He was more of a problem. I remember when
alcoholic.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic, and he ended up in prison.
Yeah, he did do time. Not prison, jail.
Didn't he go to Chino though?
No, he just went to jail for 1 year, and we both.
I was pretty sure he just went to reception at Chino.
Oh, he might have done reception. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, he did like a turnaround. He didn't make the main line, but he went to reception at Chino.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Because he's had so many DUIs or problems or something like that.
So many.
How often would he get picked up by the cops?
Constantly.
It was like every other day, right?
It was a revolving door. We were always happy he was in because we knew he was going to be alive. See,
they were happier when he was busted because they knew he was more safe than harming himself.
Did you think Ryan was going to live?
I didn't. When I got out of prison, routinely see him on the steps of the IHOP in Poway, just face down in the middle of the day, on the steps in front of the IHOP, drunk, and just blacked out. And you would see him in the street. He wouldn't even notice who you were. He was so bad at some points, right?
Bad. I'm amazed that he turned his life around. He now he helps other drunks.
So he's doing better, and that's it's a good thing. I mean, What about my affinity for cars? What cars do you remember me
Oh,
having?
you always the Wescalade.
The Wescalade. That was it. I had an Escalade on 23s, and
But
everyone
you
called
had
it the
truck.
Wescalade.
You had that really nice truck. Was it a Chevy?
Yeah, like a
It was a really
Z71
nice
Silverado.
truck, and then you had that, and then after that it was Range Rover, and then another Range Rover, and
What'd you think we were doing at that time?
well, you actually were a pro snowboarder.
They,
You were
they don't
making
they don't
up-
believe that. They don't.
Yeah,
Even,
oh man, I could show you pictures. He was clearing trees. He was an insane snowboarder. I was actually pretty good myself too. So
she actually brought me snowboarding the first times. We went to what? We go to Utah or was it
we went to Colorado.
Colorado?
Yeah.
And they would spend their last money. Like we didn't grow up with money. Some
No,
people think we
didn't
grew up
take
with money.
Trips. That was one of the only trips we took in Hawaii. We were middle class, maybe.
So you're
lower
saying that
middle
was the
class.
only trip and then Hawaii?
No, it was probably Hawaii first, and
Yeah,
then
we went to Hawaii when we were like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Then we went to Colorado snowboarding once, me and you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other
Yeah, but
than that-
this is like people sometimes think I grew up with money. Money wise, how do we grow up?
Yeah, we had hard times and we had good times.
Yeah, there was a
Everybody-
stretch where my dad did good, and he was doing like 10, 20,000 a month with his construction. And back then, that was like good money. He was ahead enough. But most of our lives, we barely made it lower middle class, right?
Yeah, but I did choose to stay home as long as I could with my kids because I wanted to enjoy you guys.
What did you smoke weed? Did you drink?
Yeah,
anything
that
like
was my vice. I smoked marijuana, so of course.
The funny
what
thing
you
is,
see monkey do.
The funny thing is, it's legal now, and back then it was like, it was crazy. It was like,
Yeah, we were all hiding on the street corners, handing it off.
yeah, this is crazy. But
I never sold it, but I used it. I did Best West once with a pretty good amount, and I said, "You really need to get that out of our house and stop that." Neither of my kids ever listened to a word I said, for sure.
how old do you think I was when I finally moved out, or when you started seeing my
Oh, it was.
my cars and everything was too? It was kind of crazy. I mean, because I went from a lifted Silverado to the Wescalade. This was like right, during the end of my high school time, and then I had a black Range Rover on black 24s, and then I had a white Range Rover on white 24s. And by then I lived in that little mini mansion in Encinitas, and I also lived downtown in that Harbor Club.
You had a couple nice places downtown, really nice.
Yeah, you guys.
One overlooked the El Cortez Hotel. Remember that one with the big old balcony?
Oh, that one was cool.
That was really nice.
See, back then that was even crazy. That was like $4,000 a month. I mean,
it
this
was-
is 2005.
I would have liked to have lived there.
Like 2005, $4,000 a month in San Diego was crazy, and it was.
Well, you were making it rain at some club. What was the club you were making it rain
we were
at?
idiots. We would go to clubs and just dumb fucks, straight up. But this is before social media. Even there was no.
Yeah, it was before that.
So what about life right now? What do you like about Miami?
I love Miami. I think the people are motivated. They're nice. Miami's just got an atmosphere.
Even better. What do you think about some of my girlfriends and wives?
I mean, it's your choice. I like them all. What's not to love about every one of them?
What do you think happens?
I don't know.
You've been around. You've seen how.
Well, they kind of light you up sometimes.
Do you think guys can be too fucking nice? Because I have a thing.
I think you are at times. I think you are.
There was a poll on my page yesterday that was people saying, "Open the door for the girl. Open the door." I'm like, I've been way too nice of a guy, and it didn't work out for me. There's some things I'm not doing. I mean, but I'm not opposed to that. But I'm just saying. I mean, everyone's like, open the door for her. I'm like, how many years into marriage do you think that stops? I mean, 4 years in, 5 fucking years in. I mean, are you still opening the door for your wife? I mean, maybe on date night, but let's just stop lying. Like, my mom and dad are still together. I've seen them be like the closest people forever. I mean, they roll with each other. Our family's not weird like some of these other families. We're always with each other. We're always mobbing, but it's not like overly fake shit, like we didn't have a weird life like like you see on, I don't know, movies or TV or what people say their life's like. We just had a normal life. But what do you think about women wise? What should I even do? I mean, she wanted to meet my last girl, Gabby. I mean, she knows Angie. She knew Valerie. I mean, what do you think? Where am I going wrong?
It's your whole generation. You guys go to war at one another rather than go to war together.
That's pretty
Dad
good.
and I went to war together.
You have a famous quote. So I remember when I called you from the flip phone in the shoe, and I asked you, I told you I was in trouble. And like you hadn't talked to me for a while, and I called you from the flip phone. I said, Mom, I'm in trouble. I might be getting like a life sentence. And there's a famous quote I shared with everyone. You probably don't remember it, but it was very wise, and everyone thinks it's so dope because it was simple. And you said, well, you've proven you can hurt people? Yeah. Like, have you proven you can't? Yeah. Like my mom just real simple.
Trying to prove he couldn't. The classic one was when Ryan came home and he walked in and he goes, well, Mom, he beat up the entire 7th grade. And I was just like, whoa.
Were we just fighters our whole lives, right?
I guess you just didn't put up with it.
So we always fought each other, breaking the whole house.
That was kind of a gang era too, remember?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that going on in school, and there was a lot of stuff going on that was pretty. Everyone was fighting.
Yeah, I mean it's been a trip, but
But you need a woman that goes to war with you, not against you. And I have seen each of your girlfriends go to war against you.
I was always a person like telling everyone, hey, like I just don't want to fight. I don't really have time to. I mean, I could be better. What would you say we possess, the same traits we possess that are our weaknesses that we could work on?
Oh, probably think before we speak.
We're pretty reactive.
Reactive.
Yeah.
We're very reactive.
Yeah, we're pretty reactive.
He's my mini-me. We're more reactive than
if you heard,
father and Ryan.
If you heard what she said like 10 minutes ago about someone she has a problem with, she said, I don't know if you said I have to cut their head off or something like that. We just
slit her throat.
We talk like that. Do I have to slit her throat? Like, we talk like that. Most people would be like,
but we never do it though.
What the fuck? Like, you're gonna do what? Like, we're just like that. We're very upfront about our emotions and reactive. But yeah, I mean, have you ever been? What about situations? Have you ever been to jail? I mean, have you had stuff like that happen?
No, I got in trouble once by a judge. I said really angrily, "What goes around comes around. You're gonna get yours," and they put me in holding. But other than that, I've been pretty. I'm surprised they all went to jail, including my husband.
So, yeah, so every man in my family have been locked up. I mean, it's just
someone stole our home, and my husband wasn't having it.
Yeah, he wasn't having it, and he got into it. He got assaulted on a police officer.
Yeah, he did.
But my dad's solid as fuck. He's always been. How big is this motherfucker?
He's big.
He's the biggest dude.
Yeah, he's big. He's big hands, big nice arms.
He was always the biggest motherfucker. Like, what was he, 6'5", 280 probably.
Yeah, he was always in shape.
He was almost 300 pounds at one time.
He worked really hard.
One time he was about 300.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, he got really, really heavy, and then he just made up his mind and lost like 100 pounds in the shortest amount of time. It was crazy.
Yeah, he got up to like 320, like at 6'5", big ass fool, and he said
drinking.
Yeah, then he went to the doctor and he's like, "Fuck it, I just have to eat brown rice and salmon," and he just ate the same fucking meals,
the same meal,
forever until he dropped the weight.
And I couldn't even lose 20 pounds in that time. I was trying.
And now we're going to Carbone to go eat the most bullshit ever. But you guys, amazing. We're gonna do a couple of these before my mom goes back. But this is just an intro of what we could come up with. We'll brainstorm some stuff we want to tell you guys. But how old are you, Mom?
What?
How old are you?
I'm 63.
How old were you when you had me, Ryan, and then me?
I was 20 and 21.
20 or no? I'm older than that, right?
I was 21 when I had you. And I
Probably
was 20 when I had Ryan. I couldn't even drink when I had Ryan.
But we're like more than 2 years apart.
They're 20 months.
Oh, 20 months.
They're not even 2 years apart.
Oh, cool. But you guys, there's gonna be an episode 2 soon. But I thought this was a good idea, you guys, to meet my mom. Anything you want to tell them about me going to prison, how it affected you while Ryan in and out of jail, having 2 of your sons in custody at any given time?
That was a real numb period. I wasn't really numbing myself with things. I was actually just numb. I was working a lot. I was working in a worse salon. And
what was it like to have your son go away for 10 years?
It was horrific. And also, we didn't get to see him in person for that long. It was very heartbreaking and probably very hard on Wes. I mean, of course it was. But thank God he had the cell phone, because other than that.
People always ask me, how did I have the cell phones?
He hid it pretty good in there.
Oh, now they're going to say some stupid shit. But.
Oh, yeah, not like.
Yeah, there's.
You did in the windowsill, didn't you?
No, different place. But we had our ways to do it. But you guys, we love you guys. We're always going to be here. I mean, you know, there's transitions There's transitions in life going from prison to the street. What did you think about when I was coming out? Who the fuck did you think I was going to be? What did you think was possible?
I actually thought it was just you were going to go straight. There's just no way.
I was posting on Instagram for years showing people.
Him. It was really good to watch him just make his business off his cell phone. My mom's a hoarder. He had one little piece of a table, and he started a whole business off of that. Yep.
Did I have any help starting my business from anyone?
No help. Mm-mm.
Just straight from the cell phone, posting, relentlessness, and I built it till this
Always
day.
going to the gym. You had the macros down, and
that was the coolest thing when I got out. I was like, I could cook all my food and shit. Fuck yeah, that was the thing. We'd go to the store. I lived at my grandma's house with my mom and dad. We lived in that same room when I got out. How long do you think I was there for?
Was it only a couple of years?
Yeah, maybe like 18 months or 16 months.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. He did the business pretty quick, and got a nice car, got a nice place downtown. Met Valerie and Wolfie. We really loved them. Actually, we still do love them.
Well, here, you guys, we're gonna stop there, but I mean, amazing. We're gonna have some more for you guys, and I wanted you guys to meet my mom. After all these years, people were saying, "Do you have family? Do you have family? Do you have family?" And maybe my mom's in the comments sometimes, but you met my mom today, Sherry Watson. Thank you. Love you, Mom.